So we've built 7 apps, all the way from the simplest Hello World to the more complex of Take a Note and Tweet Monitor. But we've just scratched the surface of all of the exciting capabilities that are still available in the Windows Phone operating system that you can use in your apps. Come to this page. This is another great landing page for you on MSDN that covers all of the high-level concepts that you need to understand to build Windows Phone apps of all kinds. We've covered some of the things already, such as frame and page navigation and local data storage and some of the networking services. If you are building an application for a low-memory phone, or especially if you're still building something for the old Windows Phone 7.0 operating system, studying the execution model section here would be of great value because you'll need to understand what's called tombstoning. In the modern 7.1 operating system, many apps aren't even dealing with tombstoning because multitasking gives you the capabilities automatically delivered by the operating system. The other major thing that you will most likely use in one of your apps, one way or the other, are the launchers and choosers. Now, these basically allow you to take advantage of facilities that are in the Windows Phone operating system and use them inside your app. For example, in launchers, we've seen already the email composer task that we use in the About box for each one of our apps. But there's also ways of interacting with Bing Maps. There's ways of interacting with the marketplace and the phone system and search and the Twitter and Facebook integration, text messaging, and web browsers. And then there's also choosers, so that when the user wants to pick an address, take a picture, pick someone's email address from their People Hub, invite someone into a game session, pick a photo from the photo library, you'll want to use one of these choosers. Now, in addition to the pickers and choosers, there's also a whole bunch of controls in the toolbox that would also be useful for you to use in your applications. So let's just take a quick look at the tools in the toolbox. There's an ad control that allows you to put advertisements in your app if you want to release a free app that's ad-supported. There's some visual borders. We've used buttons. Canvas is a layout section where anything put in the canvas is located on a pixel basis. Grid is a layout section which allows you to define rows and columns, similar to the way you would do it with a web page, and to be able to say, here's my rows and columns, and this one spans 3 columns. This is also very useful for apps which have a useful life in multiple phone orientations, whether it's portrait or landscape. In this case, the grid will automatically recalculate the pixel sizes of the controls and, in some cases, give you a sufficient new layout so you can just use the automatic layout features of the phone. Sometimes you actually need to be able to handle orientation changes and simply switch to a completely different page, or have a separate section that you hide and show to do the orientation layout. Ellipse and rectangle. We've used rectangle before. Ellipse is a way of creating circles and ellipses. Hyperlink button is a way of creating a piece of text with a hyperlink in it so that when you touch it, it will either take you to navigate to another page or will open up a web page. We've seen image with the gold star we used in the favorite section of the Sonnets app. You've seen we've used Listbox. Map allows you to embed Bing Maps directly into your app. Media element is a way of being able to show movies and play sounds. Password box is another equivalent of text box, except that it masks the text that's being input. Radio buttons are the kind of thing I'm sure you're familiar with if you build any other Silverlight apps. Scroll viewer is a way outside of a list box of creating something in which the user can scroll one way or another. Sliders allow you to make some various changes, and we'll see some really nice, fancier sliders in the toolkits we're about to look at. Stack panel is similar to grid, except that everything just stacks up one on top of the other from top to bottom. We've used text block and text box, and web browser, again, is a way of allowing you to embed a web browser in the middle of your app. So that's what's in the operating system as provided by Microsoft. There are 2 really great free and open source toolkits, the Silverlight toolkit for Windows Phone and the Coding for Fun toolkit for Windows Phone, both from Microsoft, that we'll take a look at now so you can see what kinds of facilities are in there that you can also use in your apps and customize if you want, because those are open source.